Welcome to Beyond the Gates. My name is Susan Wheeler, and I'm here today at the Mint restaurant in Laguna Hills. And with me today is Chef Ali, who is going to fill us in on this fabulous new restaurant. Well, Chef Ali, it's a pleasure to have you with us today. And I guess where do we start? At the beginning, where this place has been open since
2016.
2016, but it has been open in many different variations. Is that correct?
Yes, there was a fire, there was a COVID, there was remodel, then, there's a long history. So in 2016, we decided to take over this place. It used to be a Mexican restaurant with a
Yes.
very small restaurant,
Right.
just one side and the kitchen. So the family took over and then, we cleaned it up. We just opened it as an Indian Pakistani restaurant. And, in the beginning, it's always a struggle time. So
Well, of course. Now, it's an Indian Pakistani restaurant.
yes,
All right. And
absolutely.
you had owned other restaurants, is that
Yes.
correct?
Besides this, we have two other restaurants. One is Kansa, which is 5 times
Oh,
Michelin rated, restaurant.
oh my.
And then we have one in Hawaiian Gardens, which is in LA County, Shore Bazaar, LA.
I
So we
see.
have, and Mint in Laguna Hills. So we have two.
So, Mint came to Laguna Hills in 2016,
Yes.
and all these things happened.
Yeah, so we opened this restaurant in 2016. It was running as like a small family-owned
Right.
restaurant, and then this side got available, so we took over this side and expanded our
I
operation.
see.
Our response was very good with the community, so we took over this side. We were running it, and then we got a location in Fullerton, which is our second restaurant called
Huh?
Concept. So we decided to take that restaurant and a little bit on an upscale, like high-end, casual high-end restaurant. So we opened that, and that restaurant actually put us on the map. We got Michelin recognized over there, and
Oh my gosh.
it's not easy to be Michelin recognized. We
Absolutely
are,
not.
5 times Michelin recognized back to back.
Oh,
And then during the COVID time, when there was a lot of restrictions with the restaurants and, we were closed, we were only doing
right.
takeout. Since we had a very good response from our, location in Fullerton, we decided to remodel this place and give something better to the community.
So, how many years did that take, or how
So it took
long?
us about a year, about 14 months to
Right.
remodel the whole restaurant. So we remodeled it, we did our soft open, our grand openings was scheduled for May 19th, 2022. Right before the grand opening, there was an electric shock here and there was a fire here. So the whole place got burned down.
Oh my gosh. So, the place burned down.
Yeah, so the place got burned down. It was very devastated with
Oh,
the
I
whole
bet.
family. We didn't know what to do. It
Oh,
was our first
yes.
time dealing with this experience. And obviously, we have all the staff too, and we were worried
Right.
about the whole thing because we run our business as a family,
I
right?
see.
There were hurdles with the insurance, there were hurdles with the city. So finally, we took our staff from here and we took our staff to the other restaurant
Oh,
because we didn't want to let them go because they have families to run too.
yes.
So, and that restaurant in Fullerton, Hans up, and it was just like getting bigger and bigger since we were getting, Michelin recognition every year. And that got big, and so all the staff worked there. Then we got an opportunity to open another restaurant
Oh,
in Hawaiian Gardens, which we just recently opened about a year ago. It's called Shore Bazaar. So we opened that. That's another upscale version or like completely high-end, probably the first ever high-end Pakistani restaurant that we just opened there. So we were doing that. Meanwhile, when we opened that restaurant, our plans with the city, with the insurance, everything got settled here. So we decided to come back here because we were so loved here with the community. So we didn't
right.
want to leave the restaurant just like that. So we decided to remodel it again and come back to the market. And we just opened December. So we've been in
So, you're
business for
very
4 months now.
Pakistani food, and Northern India, are you a little bit of both or primarily Pakistan?
So our concept is to kind of combine the entire subcontinent which is India, Pakistan, Afghanistan, Bangladesh, to combine all of them and bring it under one roof, like the best of the best, and bring it under one roof. So if you look at our menu, it's very diverse. You will see some South Indian dishes, you will see some North Indian dishes, you
Oh,
will see some,
interesting.
Pakistani dishes from North, you will see some Pakistani dishes from, Karachi side, that's where I'm from.
I
So
see.
it's very diverse menu. We want everybody to be welcome here. We don't associate ourselves just like an Indian or Pakistani
Right.
restaurant. We call ourselves Desi. Desi is a term that's been used for people from subcontinent. So we're known as Desi. That's why we call Mint Desi Kitchen.
Well, now tell me a little bit about the food. As you were saying, it can come from many different regions, and is everything typically spicy, or do you get to choose spicy or non-spicy, or how does that work?
So normally people have that opinion about, our food, which could be Indian or Pakistani food, that our food tend to be spicy, which is not correct. It's flavorful. It's made with
Flavorful.
spices, but not with chili to make it spicy.
Oh,
There are dishes that we do not put any chili in there. There's no chili at all. There are dishes that requires a little bit of heat in there. So we keep the traditional item the way it's supposed to be. For example, chicken tikka masala.
yes.
That should not be spicy. That's like mild. So we serve that mild. The butter chicken, the vegetable dishes, those are served meant to be mild dishes. So we serve that mild. But if you come towards our kebabs or towards our signature dish, which is like karhai, which is like made in an iron wok, that's supposed to be eaten medium or spicy. So we make that dish medium or spicy. But obviously, we always stand down to the request of our people
Their
that if they want it mild,
customers.
we always accommodate that
Sure.
too.
All
So it's
right.
not necessarily that our food is spicy. You can always make it according to whatever the
You
requirements
want
of
to
the
make
person
us
is.
happy, though.
Yes.
Right. Now, the dish that you were talking about, you said that's one of your most popular dishes. It's a signature dish
Signature dish.
and very popular. And what is in that dish?
So it's a dish that pretty much comes from the northern part of Pakistan. So it's made in an iron wok, and it's just straight up. I mean, you can use any protein you want: chicken, lamb, fish, vegetables, whichever protein you like, and it's just made in tomatoes, ginger, garlic, and few
Sounds
spices.
so
That's it.
simple.
It's very
Yes.
simple,
But
but that's signature.
I'm sure ingredients are the key to it. Fresh ingredients are
Yes.
key to it all.
Key
Right.
ingredients and the technique of making food, which
Oh,
is very important.
the technique of
The
making
technique of it,
food.
yes.
Okay. Knowing all those dishes and how much and
Knowing your spices
knowing your
and the
spices.
timing of your when you want to add a spice to your dish. That's what the technique is about.
And your hours.
Our hours are from Monday through Thursday, 4 to 10. Friday, Saturday, Sunday from 2 to 10.
Oh, all right. Do you ever have music from Pakistan here, or?
So our focus is to give that kind of environment. So we do play black and white movies, and then we have
How fun.
yeah, we play like old classic Bollywood movies from like 60s and 50s,
Now, where do you show them?
and we show them on our wall right here, the brick wall. And then the background music that we have to keep that kind of theme, we play like 60s Bollywood classic songs as well to kind of match that theme.
What fun. What fun.
Yeah, like I said, we wanted to create an experience. So this is all part of our thought process that what we want to play, how our music should be, how our light should be, what we need to play on the,
Right.
on a projector. So it's all become an experience
It's
for
a
people.
whole experience. Well, Chef Ali, thank you so much for taking time to fill us in on this. And you will be meeting many Laguna Woods residents, I have a feeling.
That's the plan. We
All
want
right.
to it.
Thank you so
Thank you
much.
so much.
And Bill, what are you up to today?
Today we are beyond the gates with Tom Rioch of the Scottish Festival, or is it Scottish Fest?
Scottish Fest, yes. Bill.
Why fest instead of festival?
That's you just cut it short.
Sounds cool.
Yeah, it sounds much cooler.
So it's happening Memorial Day weekend at the Orange County Fairgrounds.
Correct.
How did a festival that maybe started in north of Great Britain get to Southern California?
Well, this festival actually started in 1932 here in Los Angeles and
that
Hollywood.
long ago.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's been around for a long time. A lot of Scots immigrated from Scotland to Los Angeles, and the community is very well connected. And they decided we wanted to hold competitions and get together on an annual basis, and so it grew from this park in Hollywood to what we have today at the Orange County Fair and Event Center. And so, yeah.
Now, before we get into how you can get into actually get into the park and into the fest, there are a lot of things going on.
Absolutely.
Competitions. I mean, we're talking about bands, pipes, drums.
Yeah, so we have numerous competitions. We have the pipe bands, as you said, which are competing. They come from we have bands coming from Canada. We have a couple bands coming from Canada, bands coming from the Midwest that come and compete, and they compete. And the band gets judged on its piping, its drumming, and then as an ensemble, how they play together as pipes and drums. And they run about 3 to 5 minute sets, and they come in, and we have about 15 bands, and they in the afternoon, just one right after another.
So what is the drum? Is it a drum line?
It's a drum line, a snare drum line, with a bass drummer, and usually some tenor drummers.
So these are organized bands.
Yes, they are.
So they're not, because I know there's been some drum lines here in the village. Could they compete?
If they had a pipe band,
They're organized
if they had,
enough.
and they had pipers with them. Yes, it has to be a pipe band with pipers and drummers.
Now, how long you've been with the fest?
So I immigrated with my parents from Scotland. So I was born in Scotland.
Okay.
Came here when I was 5, and my parents went into the organization, the Scottish community, right, coming from Scotland. My aunts and uncles were in it. So I started at a very young age, around the organization. And then around my teen years, I started to get more involved.
Okay.
And I've been involved ever since. So it's over probably about 30 some odd years I've been involved.
So it's happening Memorial Day weekend. I would imagine the planning for something like this is a little bit more in the month.
Absolutely, absolutely. We start looking about 2 to 3 years out in terms of what we want to do from 2 to 3 years from now and where we might be going.
So you're looking at 26, 27 already.
Yeah, absolutely. But the real planning for the next festival starts the day after we complete the last festival, and it takes pretty much a full year. We're all volunteers. None of us get paid for this. We do it for the love of the culture and to help bring the tradition to Southern California. And
Do you play?
I do play the bagpipes. I've been playing for probably almost.
Did you bring them with you
years.
today?
I did not.
Darn.
And I haven't played them in a while. Too busy running the festival.
I noticed looking at the website, what's the website?
ScottishFest.com.
Okay. I noticed from looking there that there's something called athletics.
Yes.
So there's contests with bands.
Yep.
And athletics.
Yes, yeah. So the athletics, it's the old. But if you went back several hundred years in Scotland, and if you ever watch Braveheart, there's a scene there where they're doing the athletics, and it's basically the men and women tossing the big telephone poles, like the cabers.
Wow.
And they toss them, and they also do, throwing the stones, all the traditional type Scottish athletics that were back 200, 300, 400, 500 years ago that we compete. We have 12 professional athletes coming in, both male and female, to compete, and then we have a lot of amateur athletes that are in the sport.
I mean, when you get into the fairgrounds, I mean, and they are doing these. Do they actually put on like exhibitions just to show, or people are watching the actual contest?
They're watching the actual contest, and then we have announcers both at the piping and drumming and at the athletics that are announcing what's going on. Right, and
so it's a play-by-play.
Yes, exactly. And so there's people there, and it's amazing when you see this 25 foot telephone pole getting tossed over its end in a perfect, 12 o'clock.
I remember watching some of that stuff on years ago on Wide World of Sports.
Right.
They used to do that. It's like, wow, what's this?
So
training to pick up a telephone pole, and
those people are professional athletes, and they train. They constantly are training, and they're in the weight rooms. They go to parks because it's hard to find a place to actually toss it.
Right.
Yeah. So they go to parks, and they'll do it in parks to practice and things like that. And then we also have another contest. I don't know if you're, Bill. It's the Highland dancing. So we also have dancing as part of our festival. And so those are the three major contests: piping and drumming, athletics, and Highland dancing.
But these are all professional dance troops.
No, actually, the only professionals are are in the athletics. The pipe bands are mostly made up of people like us, right?
Yeah.
They just play and they come together as a group, usually in their local area, and they become a local group. And then the Highland dancers are usually younger, more children, ages probably 5 to about 17, 18, and male and female.
I imagine there's lots of food and maybe whiskey tasting.
Absolutely. We have traditional Scottish food, which the cuisine's gotten better over the years. I mean, Scottish food sometimes takes a hit, but it has gotten a lot better. And then we also have the Scotch. And we bring in, we have a whole whiskey bar area, a whiskey tavern, and we sell it throughout the day. And then we also do private tastings. So someone can go online and sign up for one of our private tastings. And we actually bring from the distillery one of their master Scotch people.
Okay.
And they come in and they'll talk about the whiskey. And so people get to taste it.
How much does it cost to get in?
So advance tickets right now are $30 for an adult. The seniors, I believe, are $26, so a little bit less. And then kids are $5, and kids are 5 to 12 years old.
I say, is there an age limit?
Yeah,
on
5
this?
to 12 is $5 for a day, and then below 5 is free. Now we do have a family ticket. It's 2 adults and 2 kids.
Okay. And they can get all on the website?
Yep,
Purchase the tickets on the website?
all on the website. Or they can come the day off. The day off, it's a little more expensive. It's about $5 more expensive per ticket.
Yeah, I think the people in the village should get a bus together. And
There you go.
and
That would
down
be wonderful. That
and
would be
see
wonderful.
This thing.
The knights fighting each other.
Going after each other?
And then they do it on the horses, where they do it with the.
This is after they've had some whiskey.
Exactly. And it's like you would go to one of the Orange County entertainment venues that kind of specializes in that. We bring that to our festival. It's all choreographed in the sense that there's music behind it. There's a whole narration. It's really quite well.
What's your
working.
favorite part of the festival?
Actually, like each day at midday on Saturday, and then Saturday night and Sunday night, we do what's called our opening and closing ceremonies. And that's where about 450 to 500 pipers and drummers come into the arena, and they all play together.
Oh, it's like a big jam.
So all the pipe bands that are there for the weekend, they come together and play together, like something like Amazing Grace. You
Sure.
start with a solo, then you have 400 pipers all playing it. It's quite impressive.
And loud.
Yes, and then on Sunday nights we do the Robert Burns tune. Old Lang Syne. So we have people stand up, the pipers play Old Lang Syne, and it's really, quite nice.
Tom, thanks a lot.
Thank you. Thanks, Bill. Appreciate
Okay.
it.
You
Thank
bet,
sir.
man.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Go to the Scottish Fest Memorial Day weekend, Orange County Fairgrounds. You're going to love it. Now let's see what's happening with Susan.
I'm here today in Santa Ana with Donna Lane, who is going to fill us in on the Open Garden Tour taking place on May 10th. Donna, it's a pleasure to have you with us today. So fill us in. What is Open Garden Day?
Okay, thank you, and thank you for doing this. Open Garden Day started in 2007. We've had 18 years. This will be our 18th Open Garden Day. We missed one in COVID. We were sitting around in somebody's backyard like this, over a glass of wine or a cup of coffee, and we said, whoa. And it was a beautiful yard, and that yard is on tour this year, first ever. And her husband said, well, it would be beautiful to have something like an open garden day. Well, since then. So I've been involved in it for 18 years, and it's such a pleasure. What we tried to do from the very beginning is to make it a little different, not just have gardens open, have other elements that would draw in the people. So we have had over the years, we have vendors, garden-related vendors, we have food trucks, we have classic cars, and that is also where another important element of our event is the environmental education.
Oh, right. I see.
And
A quick question.
go, yeah,
Now, this takes place all in the street,
yes.
in front of your house.
Well, Yes, that does. The open gardens take
Well, no,
place
no,
in,
no.
yeah.
Right.
Yep, no, we call it the promenade and it takes place
I
here.
see.
We have a big white tent
Uh-huh.
and we have usually three prominent speakers. In the last few years, we've had two speakers and then one garden to table food demonstration, which is popular. It got so popular that last year we started charging people money, $10 extra. It sold out a month ago. We only accommodate 50 people, and this year Snooze Cafe, which is in Orange, is going to partner with us.
Oh, lovely.
And the people just love it. Last year, it was all about avocados. They made avocado mousse, avocado salad, whatever.
Oh, it
But it
sounds
was the
fabulous.
mousse that got me. And then on our committee, we're very, very fortunate to have the coordinator of the Master Gardeners of Orange
Wonderful.
County, and he brings in some of his experts, and we really feel like we're a bona fide tour when we have the Master Gardeners there.
Absolutely.
And we love the hummingbird and butterflies or the pollinator. And this is part of the environmental ed, the composting, anything about environment or the nature around here. We've had speakers on, and we're very pleased. This year, the butterflies and hummingbirds are back. Also, we will have, it's a big one, and probably for you too, about how to landscape your garden based upon fire-resistant landscaping plants.
Oh, of course.
And how to help fireproof your home.
People come here. They get a brochure like the one that you have, and it features a little bit about each garden. Now the gardens are all within walking distance of here, right?
Not necessarily.
Oh.
We have 2 shuttles that are free transportation. There are people, you can drive the route or you can walk it. And this year's route, I would say lots of people could walk it.
Okay.
And they're free and they come around about every 10 minutes on stops or something. And so
Wonderful.
those people, it's air conditioned and things like that. We thought it was important because when it's walkable, we have to limit the range of our gardens.
I see, of course.
And this year we have 10 gardens, including the local elementary school garden.
So plein air painting, explain a little bit about that.
It takes place outside, usually in oil, sometimes in watercolor, and they just choose something in the environment they depict in the environment.
Right. So this is a group of artists.
Mhm.
One will go to each garden.
Mhm.
They'll be sitting out there with their easel,
Mhm.
painting away. Oh,
Mhm.
fabulous!
Yeah.
And then what happens to the piece that they paint?
Well, the homeowner gets first refusal or first offer to buy it. If they don't, they will have an auction. They will have a booth on the promenade with other paintings.
Well, this is the most interesting garden tour because it is so much more. On the many garden tours that we all know about, you just visit a garden and that's it.
Mhm.
But you have this other whole element going on of events taking place right in front of your house,
Mhm.
with the whole street is devoted to that.
Mhm.
All these different events. Now, how does someone plan their time if they want to see the garden? And they know that a master gardener will be speaking at a certain time. Do you have a schedule of events?
Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah, right in the front of the booklet, it gives a schedule of events.
All right.
And then from there, there's a route in the booklet.
Okay.
And then they know about how many times the shuttle, whatever. So they have to plan their own schedule.
Got it.
The gardens are open until 3:30,
Uh-huh.
and somebody can do these events on the promenade and do all of the 10
With you.
gardens. A lot of people don't necessarily, but their choice.
Right. Okay, well, it sounds, and you have the shuttle available to get people around to gardens. And parking, well, is that an issue then?
It really hasn't been We just park in the neighborhood.
Okay,
We have never had anybody complain about parking.
all right. And then the proceeds from this wonderful event,
Mhm.
where do the proceeds go?
We split them up between, we have two neighborhoods. The city divides all the city into neighborhoods. It's easier for them to govern.
Uh-huh.
And we have two neighborhoods participating, and the board, the nonprofit board, decides how much they each get based upon their participation of number of open gardens,
Oh.
committee representation. It's just to incentivize.
Yes.
And then we give to the school garden every year. We've also given to some of our local high schools who help out. We have some Samueli. It is a charter school in Santa Ana, and it was developed for the people who were in foster care, but it has grown to be very inclusive of some very good students all the way around with the mix in it. And this year they will also be in some gardens doing their artwork. And we have tried to get their participation on some of our events, and we give them the money because art education is important to us, because beauty is important to us.
Well, I do hope that our viewers will come and be part of this very special event.
Mhm.
And again, the details, the day that it takes place
Mhm.
is
Saturday, May 10th.
all right.
And you can pick up tickets at 9 o'clock or the day before. We will have a designated
Alright.
pickup place, but you can get your tickets and wristbands starting at
Wristband.
9, and then the gardens open at 9:30, but the promenade opens at 9, and so you can
Okay.
shop. And we have many artists that live in the neighborhood or around, and they like to sell their wares. You know,
Oh, really?
yeah,
So there's
we
even
are.
shopping.
Oh, I know. It's well worth it. Yes, yes.
Well, Donna, it's been a pleasure talking with you today, and indeed, I hope lots of our viewers will attend.
Okay, thank you.
And thank you for watching Beyond the Gates, and we'll see you next month.